Hello students. This is the 10th video of second module. In the previous video I was discussing about the PCI bus. So PCI bus is one of the standard IO interface which can be used in order to extend the connection of the peripheral devices or the IO devices to the computer system. So this PCI bus, it has a block diagram like this. So this is the main memory and the processor, which will be having coprocessor, CPU, cache, main memory, and all this will be connected over to the processor bus itself. Whereas PCI bus in turn, it will be connected to the processor bus with the help of PCI bridge, and this PCI bus, it will be having the connections like audio, motion, video, SCSI, host adapter, interface to the expansion bus, LAN adapter, IO, graphic adapters, and so bus slots, and all these things we will be connected to the PCI bus. So this PCI bus, it has synchronous transfer of data. So for that purpose it has to maintain the clock signals. So these are the timing signals or the clock signals which will be used for the transfer of data. So we'll see this clock CLK, a 33 megahertz or 66 megahertz clock will be used. Frame number sent by the initiator to indicate the duration of the transaction. So initiator is nothing but the processor or the master, and the target is nothing but the slave or the IO device to which it has to respond. So AD is a signal which tell us whether it is the address line or the data line. It can be either 32 bits or 64 bits depending upon the capacity of the processor. So C bar VE number means it has 4 commands. It is a command line or it may be byte enabled lines. So byte enabled line means again the data transfer will be taking place, and it may be either 8 or 64 bits bus over the 8 or 64 bit bus. So IRDY number and TRDY number, it is nothing but the initiator ready and the slave ready, as we have seen in our master ready and slave ready signals. So device select is which device has been recognized and which device will be responding to the address which has been mentioned by the initiator. So that device will be selected and it starts transferring the data. ID select, initialization, device select. So whatever device has been initiated in order to transfer the data, so that number will be given over this line, ID select. So these are the different clock signals which will be used in order to transfer the data from the IO device to the processor. So at any given time, one device will be the bus master, and it has the right to initiate the data transfer by issuing read and write commands. A master is called as the initiator and the slave is called as the target. The main bus signal used for transferring the data are listed in the table which I have already explained you. So this is how PCI bus will look like, and there are also timing diagrams on which the data transfer and other address and the command lines will be transferred. So next standard IO interface is USB, that is Universal Serial Bus. As we all know that in our day-to-day life we are using this Universal Serial Bus. So in our computer system also we have a port called as USB port, to which we can connect all the peripheral devices like keyboard, mouse, and also we can connect we can charge our mobiles through the USB cables and all. So all these are the examples of this USB bus where actually it will be used and how it will be used. So we will study this in detail now. The very well-known connection port available on the PC is the USB port. USB is the acronym for the Universal Serial Bus. So the change that has been caused by this standard and its wide application is definitely mentionable. USB was created by a core group of companies that consisted of Compaq Digital, IBM, Intel, Northern Telecom, and Microsoft. So all these companies together, they developed this USB. A maximum of 127 peripherals can be connected to a single USB bus host controller. So here we can connect over 127 peripheral devices over this, and USB device has a maximum speed of up to 480 megabits per second. So 480 megabits per second can be transferred over this USB device, and the newest version is USB 2.0. and it has this capacity. So length of individual USB cable can reach up to 5 meters without a hub and 40 meters with hub. So if we are connecting the devices by making use of the hub, then until 40 meters this individual cable can reach, or else without hub means we can make this up to 5 meters. So this also USB also supports plug and play. That is, just we are going to connect or insert the devices using this USB cable into the USB port, and those devices will start functioning. So USB can draw power by its own supply from a computer. So for example, if we want to charge our our mobile phones or the smartphones, then what we do is just we are going to insert the cable and we are going to give the connection, one to the computer, the other one to the our mobile or the smartphone. So it starts getting charged. So similarly, this USB devices also use power up to 5 voltages and deliver up to 500 milliamperes. If a computer turns into power saving mode, some USB devices will automatically convert themselves into the sleep mode. That is, they will stop working until and unless the external power supply will be switched on. So where and all these applications this USB can be used means, USB connections are used to connect computer peripherals such as mouse, keyboards, digital cameras, printers, flash drives, joysticks, scanners, modems, storage devices, etc. It has become common on other devices like phones and PDAs also. So last standard IO interface is SCSI. So this is a drawback. It has one drawback, that it can only hold up to 8 to 16 devices, and also it doesn't have any plug and play feature, and it uses handshaking signal scheme only, that is asynchronous data transfer. So we'll see what actually is SCSI. SCSI means small computer system interface, transfers data between the computer and the peripherals. It was developed by Shugart Associates in the year 1981, and it was then called as Shugart Associates System Interface. So set of standards for physically connecting and transferring data between the computers and peripheral devices. So here, if the plug and play has not been this feature has not been given by this SCSI means, so whatever device wants the connection over this SCSI bus, they have to understand, and they have to follow certain rules and regulations. That is, they have to install some software before they are being connected. If they are getting installed successfully, then only they can be allowed for transfer of data over this SCSI bus. So SCSI ports allow data to be transmitted in a daisy chain. Daisy chain means it will be connected serially or linearly, and whichever device which will be having highest priority, so that from that device the data transfer will be taking place over this SCSI bus. So this SCSI bus, it will be consisting of only 8 to 16 devices can be serviced, can be connected over this SCSI bus, whereas in USB bus we can connect up to 127 peripherals. So this is one of the drawback of the SCSI. SCSI also uses handshake signal between devices, so no plug and play feature is there. So we can see here, this is a CPU and memory, access to the host memory. SCSI host adapter will be there. So for this SCSI host adapter, we will be having the connection to the SCSI bus, and to this ports we will be having the device controllers, SCSI device controllers, to which we will be connecting the peripheral devices like hard disk, printer, CD-ROM. So all this will be connected. And also this standard IO interface, it has different signals, that is bus free phase, arbitration phase, selection phase, message phase, command phase, data in phase, status phase, message in phase, and bus free phase. So it continues. So bus free phase means, this means that no SCSI device are using the bus and that the bus is available for another SCSI operation. So arbitration means which has to become the next owner will be decided by this arbitration phase. Selection means So in the arbitration phase, whichever device will win the ownership of this SCSI bus, so the arbitration, so that device will be selected for the communication purpose. Reselection means after some time limit, if there is a large amount of data has to be transferred, then again and again in between the reselection of the device will be done with this reselection phase. Command phase means during this phase the target requests to command from the initiator. Requests a command from the initiator.